Dear students, this is part 4th of this chapter. Here in this lecture, we will see how metals react with non-metals and what are ionic compounds and what are their properties. Metals are actually electropositive elements, that is, they lose electrons and become positive ions. For example, if we take sodium, it has 11 electrons, that is, it is outer electronic configuration, or we can say it is total electronic configuration is 2, 8 and 1, that is there are only one electron in its valence shell. It loses this one electron to form a sodium ion, that is sodium metal gets converted or sodium atom gets converted into a sodium ion by losing one electron. Similarly, magnesium has two electrons in its valence shell, so it loses those two electrons easily and as such gets converted into Mg plus 2, that is magnesium ion. While as the non-metals, they are electronegative, that is they try to gain electrons and become negative ions. For example, we have chlorine having 17 electrons. So its electronic configuration is 2, 8 and 7, that is in the third shell it has only 7 electrons and it needs one electron to gain the nearest noble gas configuration and become stable. So this tends to make the chlorine to attract one electron from sodium to form chloride ion. So chlorine takes one electron to form Cl negative, that is the chloride ion. Similarly, oxygen having takes two electrons to form O2 negative ion. Here we have the formation of sodium chloride molecule. It provides a great example of how metals react with non-metals. So here we have sodium and chlorine. We take sodium, that is atomic sodium having atomic number 11, that is 11 electrons, and its electronic configuration is 281, having one electron in its valence shell, while as chlorine atom having 17 electrons, that is 287, having 7 electron in its valence shell. So sodium has one electron extra, while as chlorine has one electron less to attain its stable nearest noble gas configuration. And as such, the sodium tends to lose this electron towards chlorine, while as chlorine having 7 valence electrons, it gains this one electron to form chloride ion. Then the attraction between the positive ion and the negative ion results in the formation of a molecule or compound, that is sodium chloride. There is actually the electrostatic attraction that binds the two ions together to form a molecule. Now, ionic compounds are electrovalent compounds. These are the compounds that are formed by the transfer of electrons from metal to a non-metal. So, in ionic compounds, there are two ions of having opposite charge that are binded with each other by electrostatic attraction. These ionic compounds have some unique properties that are: first, they are formed by the transfer of electrons and are made up of ions. Second, they are crystalline solids, that is, their nature is crystalline. Third, they have a high melting and boiling points due to large attraction between the oppositely charged ions. They have high melting as well as boiling points. Since the ionic compounds have two differently charged ions and as such they are polar, so they are soluble in polar solvents like water, while as they are insoluble in organic solvents or non-polar solvents like petroleum or kerosene, etc. The fourth one is they conduct electricity in their molten state or in solution form. That is, the ionic compounds, when dissolved in a solution or in molten state, they possess the ions that can show mobility, and as such they carry charge from one end to another end, and as such they can carry electric current, and as such they are good conductors of electricity in their molten or solution state.